33 cars get ready to tackle the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway. Pete Ruzich, Cole Snyder on the front row. Ruzich in that Sheriff white Chevy Camaro on the outside, and where there's a Sheriff, there's sure to be one of them Duke boys around here somewhere. The number 24 of Cole Snyder starting on the inside of row number 1 in the number 24 Box Cave Chevrolet. Row 2 sees Mike Allen and Enrique Quiñones in the 5 and the 9, respectively. Nate Lehman in the number 14 Dynaco Ford to the inside of Josh Arnold in the number 22 Auburn Tigers Ford Mustang. Behind Josh Arnold in the number 19, it's Jake Millsap rocking the Cold Dog Millsap Graphics Chevrolet. In the inside lane, Zach Meredith in the number 17 Nationwide Ford. The Canadian Dave Cuvier in the number 45 Black Rifle Coffee Bass Pro Shops Chevy on the outside of the 37 of Jeff Lednum. Getting ready, getting lined up. 80 laps of action from virtual Talladega. Cole Snyder on that front row. There's your top 10. So many fans coming through. Cindy Thompson cheering for the 22 of Josh Allen. NNR Lee says, let's go boys. XRN Network is ready to go. Also cheering on Jim Coey, Matt Cochran, Josh Franks, and Ben Lee. Vols fan in the house says he's got that Martin Sports rowdy energy. McConey setup. Tree Wade cheering on the 27 and the 72. Vols fan putting in 100 bits. And Boehner saying it's time to go. Thank you everybody who's joined. Let's go racing. 80 laps from Darlington. Waiting for that signal. Green flag is out. Let's do it. Out of turn number 4, Cole Snyder leads that fast procession down through the tri-oval. 24 on the inside line. The white sheriff car of Pete Ruzich on the outside, almost being made contact by the 5 of Mike Allen. Leading lap number 1, it's Cole Snyder in car 24. Ruzich to his outside, then you've got Mike Allen on the inside in car number 5, pushing along that 24. The 14 of Nate Lehman, third in line on the inside, trying to get to the inside of that white sheriff Chevrolet. Enrique Quiñones behind him in the number 9 Box Cave Chevy. So far, so good. 2-7 rows deep at Talladega. Into that third corner now, Ruzich with a head full of steam, leading the procession through turn 3. Now he's got Allen to his inside, the 24 of Cole Snyder not giving up that fight, riding along all the way in the back. The 72 of Braden Holt is watching all of this unfold. Pete Ruzich now sitting in that second position, finally made his way to that inside line, and it looks mightily perilous. Ellie 1102 says kapow into the chat. She's joined. She's ready to watch a great show. Drag race to the line to complete lap 3. Pete Ruzich now on the inside of Cole Snyder. And if you've just joined us, I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of the di9 designs. Turn down for what cars from virtual Talladega. Ruzich and Snyder swapping positions just like nothing, side by side, and look at that 2x2 procession. They just don't quit. The 14 of Nate Lehman trying to find some fresh air to the inside. The Dynaco Ford sits sandwiched between Mike Allen, and look at the 45, the new guy, the Canadian Dave Cuvier from Southern Ontario, weaving back and forth, trying to find some settle in that wiggle. The 19 up ahead, Jake Millsap in the Cold Dog Chevrolet getting a bumper from Cuvier in that 45. Cuvier's down on the 72. Here we go. You just knew this was coming. Cars piling up behind them. Everybody in a big wreck. Everyone flying down that front straight. It looks like they saved it. Did they wreck? Where is car 72? There's Braden Holt. Down there, did they save that? There's no way. They just saved all of that. One more look at Braden Holt, the 72. Cars going off track briefly. Not sure what happened there, if they jumped to the pits or what, but that is a marvelous save. Caution number 1 does come out over the speedway for that bit of a mix-up there. So Pete Ruzich being scored as the leader in the number 8 Sheriff's car. In the second position, you've got Mike Allen with a local band sponsoring that ride. I got to ask him what that's all about. I asked him before and I forgot, and I feel bad. Cole Snyder sitting third in the number 24 Box Cave 72. Tree Wade in the chat says, nice driving, 72. You're telling me that 72 saved that thing. Let's ride along one more time, actually. Let's have a look from the cockpit of that 72 car. Braden Holt. Let's have a look at this. Not sure if Braden immediately jumped to pits after that, but certainly a great save. You saw just how hard he had that turned to the right. Nate Lehman running in the 4th position. Pete Ruzich up in the front of this procession. Let's bother repeat 1975 and see how his race is going so far. Repeat 1975. Rick James, you got me?
Let's go, Pete Coltrane here, Rick James. How are you, sir?
Let's go, buddy. I mean, have I ever interviewed you from inside the race car?
No, I don't think you did. Let me actually turn you down there we go. No, buddy, I don't think you have, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm having a blast. These cars look fantastic. You've got the white Sheriff car back here. Mike Campbell's got the Dukes of Hazzard Ford back there somewhere. So many cool paint schemes tonight, buddy. How's the racing? It's got to be as cool as the cars.
Absolutely. It was a lot of fun trying to keep Cole down underneath me. Beat me for the pole by 1/100th of a second, man. I was as smooth as butter around that yellow line. Just wasn't quite able to get that, get that coveted spot. I wanted it. I don't race the Xfinity season or series all that much, but man, I was able to keep Cole on my inside. Had a lot of great help from Enrique Quinones, or Q-Dog, as a whole lot of them know. He gave me a big old shove. I was able to get by Cole, and then I'm not quite sure who that was behind me. I think it was Allen. Yeah, Allen gave me a shove to get me back to the front, and buddy, here I am.
You're sitting at the front. Still a lot of race left to go. Who's your strongest draft partner?
Strongest, I gotta say, I was working a little bit with Bain earlier in practice. I think if he can get up here and I can push him, he kind of, I don't know if it was what he was kind of hinting at it or what. He said, Pete, this is exactly where you want to be at the end of the race. So I'm going to take that as a hint that he's willing to push me to a win if it comes down to it. So hopefully we're in the right place when 80 laps are done.
Pete, there we go. Let's unmute myself. Pete, I'm going to burst your bubble. I'm watching the 28 of Jordan Bain right now when he's leaving pit road with no front end on that B-Water Ford.
Well, we got one fast repair. Hopefully he uses that now and can get back out and we can make it happen.
Only one way to do it, man. You just got to put your foot down and make that happen. That brings us to the most important question of the race, Pete. What is your favorite brand of chip?
Favorite brand of chip? I got to say... Oh, boy, cheddar and sour cream.
Okay, I'll take it. I'm not a sour cream guy when it comes to chips, but you know what? I won't knock other people. There's so many flavors of chips now, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
There really are. You can walk down the chip aisle, and it seems like the entire aisle is just colored bag after colored bag.
I know, right? I mean, I'm classic. I'm boring. I just go with just the Lay's barbecue chips. But you know,
You are anything but boring, my friend.
You're too kind, buddy. Keep the shiny set up, man. Hopefully, we talk to you at the end.
I hope so, Rick.
I love that guy. I really do. And Pete, when you're listening back to this, send my love to Mrs. Rusich as well, buddy. For those that don't know, Pete has quite literally taught me and I know I use that phrase a lot, but no, Pete has taught me almost everything I know, and it's an absolute pleasure to call this race. And with Pete up there, you know, and it's a special race, special paint schemes. I'm loving the vibe so far. Mike Allen on the outside in that number 5 is going to be restarting on the outside of row 1. Fans at home are going to take a quick 30-second break. We'll be back with the restart on lap 9 of 80. Don't go anywhere. The di9 Designs Turn Down for What series will be back in just 30 seconds. Pace car peels off. Pete Rusich and Mike Allen on the front row, waiting for that signal. Green flag is out at Dega. Let's do it again. Big wreck immediately. The 17 goes down. 3, 4, 5 cars involved there. Zach Meredith got a piece of that. Terry Radford in the number 3 Martin Sports Chevrolet. My good buddy, Terry Radford. Normally does a word or two with Podium Esports on the weekends. Here giving up his fun Tuesday night. Timmy Hart says, "Let's go Campbell." Cheering on for the 71 of Mike Campbell Jr. Terry Radford got a piece of that accident there, and it's a wreck immediately after that green flag. Let's go back and see what caused that. Mike Nike in the chat says 27 and 71. Let's go. Cheering for the 71 of Mike Campbell. Mike currently running in the 13th position in that Dukes of Hazzard themed 71. Then the 27 car of Sam Wade in the Tennessee Volunteers Mustang got a piece of that accident. Let's go back and once again take a look at Zach Meredith and Terry Radford. This is just off the restart. Oh, guys got bunched up. Let's have another look. Guys definitely got bunched up on the green flag here. And I think one of the Swatsworth brothers may have been involved. There's Shad in the 1 car. He's in the purple. He's going to get checked up from the 38 of Matt Boone. Boone's going to get checked up from the 19 of Jake Millsap. And I think it may have started with the 5 of Mike Allen. Let's have a look one more time at the green flag riding along with Allen. That's Quinones in the 9. You can almost see their cars getting checked up behind them, and there you see the 17 and the 3 going for that spill. Tizzy452 says some gorgeous schemes. I'm saying, Tizzy, and week after week, turned down for what, just comes out with it. I remember 2 weeks ago at Atlanta, one of my favorites, everybody brought a college football paint scheme, including this 27 of Sam Wade. I know the 66 of Grandpa Coe normally rocks a Notre Dame paint scheme, but this week he's got the Philadelphia Flyers on his hot rod. Check this out. We'll get a better look here if we can. I'm not even a Flyers fan. I like the Red Wings, but that's still, I just love the blend of sports and racing here. Look at that. He's got the retired number. Is that Gritty on the back? Of course it is. How cool is that? Jim Coe coming in strong with the Flyers there. Let's see, who else has a sports-themed, or at least a good-looking paint scheme? Josh Arnold. He's a big Auburn fan. It's no secret. And he's from nearby in McGee, Mississippi. He's repping his beloved Auburn Tigers in that 22. It's Mike Kinsley running this week. Oh, yes, of course. I could not forget about these Crown Royal cars. And no prizes for guessing what this is an homage to. Obviously, the IROC cars, and there's a plethora of these. You've got Mike Kinsley in the 12, Matt Boone in the 38. There you can see the damage on the back end of his Camaro. He got a piece of that last accident. We mentioned the Swatsworth, one of the two Swatsworths, Shad, to be specific, in the number 1. Then if we go down to the 18, where's the other 50% of the Swatsworth brothers? There they are. Where's Kurt? Kurt's just leaving pit road, rocking that lime green. Love it. I was watching it during practice. I just absolutely, even if I put it to the widest angle, you can see that car from anywhere. Absolutely love it. There's a blue one around here somewhere, but I have no idea where it is. Anyway, no, like Tizzy said, apparently the 15 of Josh Roberts drives fast and kicks ass. Jake Millsap in the number 19 car, currently sitting 4th as they run. Up ahead, Cole Snyder leads this race. He's got Josh Arnold right behind him in the 2nd position. North Carolina's Pete Ruzich sitting in 3rd in that special sheriff paint scheme. Jake Millsap behind him in the 19. He sits in 4th. The Canadian, Dave Cuvier, in the number 45 Bass Pro Chevrolet, rocking the 5th position. Rounding out the top 10, Matt Cochran in car 77. Rounding out your top 15, Matt Boone, one of the aforementioned IROC homage paint schemes. Look at this, Rodney Ayers. When's the last time you saw Rodney Ayers on the racetrack? He's rounding out the top 20 in that number 21. Going to Jeff Lednum in that Shelby Cobra number 37. Hopefully he's got a lot more than 350 horsepower under the hood. He sits 26th right now. Braden Holt currently getting repairs. Sam Wade bringing up the rear. He's leaving pit road. Pete Ruzich being scored in the 4th position. All the way back up to Cole Snyder in the 24. Josh Arnold in the 22. This is bound to be a great restart. Let's see if we can have a quick word with Cole Snyder in that 24. Cole Snyder, Rick James, you got me.
Hey, what up?
Breathing this time by, Cole. You got a chance to win this race?
Absolutely. I think everyone has a chance to win this race.
It's Talladega, baby. That's what it does. That's what we do. Who's going to be your best drafting partner on the way to the win?
I think that 22 Auburn Ford Mustang on my right, he looks like to be the guy, or maybe that Enrique Quinones guy, or even this Jake Millsap dude. The whole squad.
All of the box cave cars for some reason, huh? Is it going to be an inside line or outside line kind of day, Cole?
Oh, outside line, 10 days out of 8 days.
Outside line, 10-8. What's your favorite brand of chip, Cole Snyder?
Ooh, jalapeno.
Good answer, buddy. Keep the shiny side up. We'll talk to you at the end of the race.
Yes, sir.
Don't call me sir, Cole. Josh Arnold on the outside of the 24 car, coming to the green flag, waiting for this restart. Going to complete 12 laps of the scheduled 80. waiting for the flag. Drivers eager. There's the signal. Green flag is out at Dega. Let's go racing. Mike Knight, 3369 says, let's go Rodney, cheering on for that 21 car at the front. Cole Snyder leads, Josh Arnold right behind him. Lucky number 13, laps complete at Talladega. 24, 22, 19, your top three. That white Sheriff being scored as the number 8 of Pete Ruzich out of the second corner. Single file, top 5, and look at them fan out behind him. Matt Cochran, the number 77, One Mind Design Supra, coming out to the inside. Cochran flying the flag for Toyota, him along with Hunter Peach in the number 26. Ream Supra, the only Toyotas in today's field. Will they link up and move their way to the front? Bama Trama in the chat says, let's go Dega Racers. Mama Vols in the second of our 2 doubleheader races tonight. What's going on, Mama? Miss you, love you. Glad that you're here. Cheering on her boy in the number 3, Terry Radford, 3 almost 4 wide, using all the lanes in turn number 2. Now this is pod racing. Out of the second corner, 2x2, 3 rows deep, everybody fighting for that 10th position. Randy Bousquet in the number 29 Chevrolet, up 17 places from where he started. Let's ride along with Randy. A virtual 185 plus into the third corner. Look at the 38 of Swatsworth really go to the high side. The 18 now being pushed to the high side there by the 60. That's Jeff No getting a little friendly with Kurt Swatsworth in the 1-8. Swatsworth losing all sorts of momentum. He'll drop out of the top 20. He now sits 24th and continues to sink through the running order. Trying to make their places up through this field. Swatsworth in that 18, down to 25th, trying to regain positions. Up ahead, that red 15. Josh Roberts trying not to scrape the wall out of turn number 2. And at the front of this race, it's still Cole Snyder leading in car 2-4. Josh Arnold behind him in the Auburn 22, and Jake Millsap currently being scored third. Single file, top 3. Then you've got the 151 of Ben Lee, our biggest mover of the race so far. Ben is up 17 places from where he started, and he's leading the outside line. Definitely thought I was muted for that cough, and I so wasn't. Sorry about that. Cole Snyder at the front in that 2-4. Josh Arnold sitting in the second position. The Auburn Ford weaving, trying to find some space, some daylight. But here comes Ben Lee in the 151. He's got help from Josh Franks in the 6 car on the outside, finding their way into turn number 3. Now they're 2 by 2, almost 14 rows deep into the third corner. Here comes the 151 of Lee. He's got momentum. Will Franks give him a shove down the tri-oval. Cole Snyder still stays strong with the 22 of Josh Arnold. He said earlier the 22 would be one of his best drafting partners today. The 6 of Josh Franks kicked out to the high side. Quinones in the 9. There goes the 14 of Nate Lehman, and they're crashing down the front straight. Nate Lehman continues to skid. Everybody makes it through mostly okay. And the 14 Dynaco Ford of Nate Lehman immediately comes to a halt, just minor scrapes and a dent on the right rear bumper of that Dynaco Ford. Still racing at speed, however, at the front. Cole Snyder still leading. Josh Arnold in second, Jake Millsap in third. Ruzic bounces off the yellow line on the inside of 3, loses some of the gap. Here comes one of those 2 identical Bass Pro cars. Dave Cuvier, the Canadian, in the 45 to the inside of Ben Lee, the American, in the 151. Filling that gap behind Cuvier is the 5 of Mike Allen, and they make contact. There go the 2 Bass Pro cars. Cuvier wins out, but he makes contact with Franks, slams up against the wall, and it's lights out for both of those Bass Pro cars. We still stay green, and there is caution number 2 at Talladega Superspeedway. Cole Snyder, Josh Arnold, Jake Millsap, your top 3. Caution number 3 out at Talladega. Cars racing back to the line to catch up to the pace car. Let's have a look at what occurred between Dan Cuvier in the 45 and the 151 of Benjamin Lee. Oh, and they've already made heavy contact there, and that looked like the 72 that got a piece of that. Let's go back and have another look with Dan Cuvier. And there's Cuvier, who looks like he mostly made it out all right. There you see the 151 of Ben Lee. He absolutely clattered into somebody else. And let's have a look from the angle of the 151. Timmy Hart 21 says, let's get it, Campbell 71, and let's go 21. Now watch this. Keep your eye on these 2 Bass Pro Chevrolets. There's the contact. And, oh, down into the 99. The 60 got a piece of it. Randy Bousquet in the 29 got involved in that one. Corey Blevins getting a huge piece of that action. And just nowhere to go for car 99. Let's have one more look from Blevins' angle. All things considered, Blevins did a pretty good job staying off that wall. Drivers are coming down pit road to get their tires, their fuel, to keep their cars running for the remaining 3/4 of this race. Us, we're going to take a quick 30-second break, and we'll be back for the resumption of di9 Designs. Turned down for what? From virtual Talladega. Back with you from the virtual Talladega Superspeedway. At the front, Zach Meredith in the number 17 Nationwide Camaro, currently being scored as our leader. Let's find Zach Meredith. See if we can ask him what he thinks about today's race. And it looks like Zach Meredith might be unavailable for chat. That's quite all right. Pete Ruzich sits in second. We already spoke to him. Let's bother Jake Millsap a little bit. Jake Millsap, Rick James, you got me?
Yep, gotcha.
Jake, you're sitting in third right now. You've got a quarter of the race complete. What are you thinking of the competition so far? Do you have a race-winning car?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That Cold Dog car looks good from this angle. Who's your best drafting partner?
Definitely a 22.
Josh Arnold seems to be a friend of a lot of folks out there, especially the 24 of Cole Snyder. Coming into this 7th round, you sit 14th in points. You're only 6 digits behind Shad Swatsworth and only 8 points behind Jeff Lednum. Are you thinking more about the points today, or are you trying to win your first race this season?
I'll win. Completely. That'd be the first league win ever.
Only one way to get it done, man. And that brings us to the most important question of the race. Number 19, Jake Millsap, what is your favorite kind of chip?
Tortilla.
You know what? I wasn't even thinking tortilla. I was thinking potato chip, but I like that answer even better. I'll take tortilla. So go Jake Millsap for thinking outside the box, buddy. Keep the shiny side up. We'll talk to you at the end. Zach Meredith leading as the pace car peels off. Repeat 1975 says, appreciate you, Rick. Bama Trama says, let's go. Vols fan 88 cheering on her boy, number 3, Terry Radford, who's starting 20th. The 17 of Zach Meredith is the control car. Riding on from the fender of Meredith, looking back to Pete Ruzich in the 8, waiting for the signal. Green flag is out. Listen to that 17 go. We're racing again at Talladega. Ruzich trying to do it the hard way around the outside. Now he's got help from the 38 of Matt Boone, who's now going on the outside of him. 3 wide for the second position as Boone uses the slingshot to get a great run on the outside of Ruzich. Will he clear him into 3? Yes! What a move to get around that white Sheriff Camaro. At the front, Zach Meredith still leading in the number 17 Nationwide Chevrolet. Jake Millsap to his almost inside. Millsap right behind him in the number 19 Chevrolet. He said the 22 of Josh Arnold, who's riding right behind him, is his best draft partner today. Will the 22 push the 19 to the lead? On the outside, Matt Boone leads the charge with Pete Ruzich behind him. I never get tired of that shot. The driver's just funneling down that back straight 2x2. I love that. And there goes Ruzich, right there into Arnold. Does he save it? No way. No way he saved that. All right, let's go back. Let's go back. We've got to take a look. There is no way. Let's just... that's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. Watch this. Corey Blevins just went around. Look at the 72. Just the wherewithal from the 72 of Braden Holt to recognize the danger and back off the gas. That is unbelievable. One more look because I'm selfish and I just have to see this. That's unbelievable. Mike Knight says, amazing save. Great driving, guys. No caution so far, even though Corey Blevins has gone around. Just fantastic stuff. Back to live pictures. And nope, caution number 4 actually is out on the racetrack. So I apologize for my selfishness. I apologize for missing the Corey Blevins crash, but let's go back and see what happened. And Corey just goes from bad to worse for Blevins, and look at this. Josh Franks in the 6th got a piece of that. Blevins with a hard smack on that outside wall. Let's have another look and see what happened, because this occurred well, or at least this started well before turn number 4. Let's have a look with Corey. Oh, and they're already wrecking again. All right, let's go back even further. Here they are coming into turn number 3. Blevins is the black and white car with the red numbers on the outside. Sam Wade is up ahead in that 27. That's the 18 of Kurt Swatsworth to his inside, and the 12 of Mike Kinsley. Incredibly slow in that Crown Royal car. So this started with Mike Kinsley in the 12. Let's hitch a ride with Mike Kinsley and see exactly what occurred here. This is Kinsley in 3. Oh, and he just slows up just immediately, letting everybody go by. Let's back this up and ride along on the cockpit of Kinsley. It looks like something might have gotten disconnected or something the way he slows down out of nowhere. Have a listen. Oh, he's already slow before this. Let's go back even further. The engine just died on Kinsley's car, and unfortunately, it looks like he tries to get down, but he doesn't realize that there's cars behind him. By the time he's realized it, it's far too late. Josh Franks adds his 2 cents because he's got nowhere else to go, and that's caution number 4. So Zach Meredith still at the front of this race. That's going to put Matt Boone in 2nd in the number 38 orange IROC car. Coming into this race, Matt Boone sits 3rd in the points. He's got 1 win with an average finish of 7th place. He's only 6 points ahead of race leader Zach Meredith as far as the point standings are concerned, and he is 42 markers off of points leader Jordan Bain. Matt Boone in that 38 has a lot to race for, and there's so much that could go wrong. Let's bother Matt Boone for a bit and see how his race is going so far. Matt Boone, Rick James, you got me.
I got you.
Buddy, these IROC cars are something else, man. It really is nostalgic, and it definitely just takes me back to my childhood when some of my favorite drivers were out there, man. Whose idea was this?
So we've ran this before on the Xbox side. It was Kurt's idea, and Shad made it happen.
I'm loving it. So many cars here. Unfortunately, we just saw the 12 of Kinsley get pinched in an accident there. Not sure what happened to him, but you've got Swatsworth behind you in that 3rd position, man. Looking at the leader, Zach Meredith, he last pitted on lap 21, and all of the top 11 last pitted on lap 21 here. So it doesn't look like fuel or tires is that big of a concern.
No, fuel and tires aren't a concern. We'll have to make one more stop for fuel. Tires, I'm not taking anymore. They can send all the rest of them back to the shop. The 12 checked up for that wreck that almost happened between Pete behind me, and then everything else just kind of stacked up from there.
Still about 12 laps from the halfway mark so far, Boone. Who would you say is your best draft partner on the racetrack?
Well, the 28 of Bain, but he's got a little bit of front end damage. He's keeping that thing real cool tonight. But this one he can push as well, so we're going to get around the 17 on the restart and see what we can do.
Swatsworth behind you. He looks like a good pusher. That brings us to the most important question of the evening, Boone. What is your favorite kind of chip?
Kettle cooked barbecue.
Ooh. You know, I love barbecue chips. I really do. But the kettle cooked, that's fantastic. You know what?
Yes,
That's a
sir.
great answer, man. Keep the shiny side up, man. Stay out of trouble, and hopefully we talk to you at the end of the show.
10-4.
The Rhinelander native, Matt Boone, will be starting in second behind Zach Meredith. Single file restart as we approach lap 29 at Talladega. 80 laps, the scheduled distance today. On a green flag run, these drivers can go about 40 laps on a pit window, but with enough cautions today, that won't be any sort of an issue. With only one fast repair tonight, drivers need to be careful about how and where they place their cars. 214 miles, the scheduled distance tonight. Waiting on the go from Zach Meredith. Matt Boone will be starting just behind him, and he says he's got help from the one of Shad Swatsworth. Cars eagerly awaiting the signal, waiting for the green flag to fly. There it is, 17 takes off. Let's go racing at Talladega. There he goes, just like he said, with help from the 71 of Mike Campbell. Matt Boone to the front of this race. The one of Shad Swatsworth sits in second. Mike Campbell in third in the number 71. Dukes of Hazzard themed Ford sitting in fourth. You've got Zach Meredith, the Canadian. Dave Cuvier sits in the fifth position now, riding along with the car 71. Sitting in third ahead of the 17 of Zach Meredith. Then you've got Bray Holt sitting in the sixth position. He's leading this second train. Mike Allen behind him in that number 5. Then you've got, it looks like the 21 of Rod Ayers, who's made it into the top 10. He's up 10 places from where he started. Speaking of 10, Kurt Swatsworth rounding out the top 10. He's climbed 22 places from where this race began. 3 wide behind him, the 26 of Hunter Peach involved. He's now on the outside of Jordan Bain in that 28, and I don't believe my eyes. Jordan Bain with no front end, competitive in the draft. He's up 11 places into 15th, now drafting with the 27 of Sam Wade. Kurt Swatsworth in the 18, falling back, trying to find a draft partner. Behind that 28, we've got the 33 of Stan Carnathan. Carnathan drafting behind Jordan Bain in the 28, the 27 up ahead of Sam Wade, trying to get further up this racetrack. Enrique Quinones in the 9 sits behind the 24 of Cole Snyder. Mike Campbell, your new leader at Talladega. That's the 66 of Jim Coey, who's wildly slow on the outside. Everybody charges to the inside of Grandpa Coey, and you see the 8 and the 97. That's Pete Ruzich, who's been lined up with TJ Hanley. Both of these white cars nose to tail. The 71 of Mike Campbell leads this race. Matt Boone sits behind him in second. Timmy Hart in the chat says, let's go Campbell. Derek Cook says, this looks fun. How do I run with these guys? DC, let me get in touch with you at the end of this race. We'll put you in touch with the turn down for what, fellas? Enrique Quiñones running 12th right now in the number 9 Box Cave Chevrolet. He's up behind the 24 of Campbell, but look on the high side. It's one of those 2 Supras. Hunter Peach now has help from the 14 of Nate Lehman, and here comes the 77 Supra of Matt Cochran. Everybody trying to get lined up on the outside. Cochran has support from the 6 of Josh Franks, and it looks like Matt Boone has now taken the lead in car 38. He's got help from Campbell behind him, and it's clear sailing for the 38 of Matt Boone. Swatsworth now behind him in second. That's Campbell in the 71, rocking the outside line. Jordan Bain in the 28. He sits in the vacuum hole between the 19 of Jake Millsap, the 6 of Josh Franks on the outside. 28 settles back to the inside line now. Cole Snyder behind him in that 24 car. Snyder's one of those cars that pitted on lap 26 on that most recent caution. We'll see what Snyder can do with these fresh tires. 6 laps away from halfway. Matt Boone, Shad Swatsworth leading at the front, inside, outside. Then you've got Zach Meredith sitting second on the outside line in that 17. Behind him, it's the 72 of Braden Holt. Holt sits to the outside of Hunter Peach. That number 26 Supra has worked his way into 6th. Bain and Millsap, nose to tail, the 28 of Bain. Now sees Millsap go to the outside. Hunter Peach darts immediately to that outside line. The number 26, Reem Camry, now finds himself on the high side. More momentum on the high side. Look at the gap on the inside line. Drivers need to fill that up, or that outside line is going to have the advantage out of 2 next time by. Both of those IROC liveried Chevrolets at the front. The 38 of Matt Boone, the 1 of Shad Swatsworth sitting side by side. 35 laps complete, 5 laps to halfway. If you've recently joined us, I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of the di9 Designs. Turn down for what cars from virtual Talladega. You're watching Hunter Peach on the outside line in that number 26 Reem Camry. He's up 14 places from where he started at the beginning to his inside, the number 45. Dave Cuvier, the lone Canadian in today's field, on the inside line, now behind the 71 of Matt Campbell. Into the third corner now. Shad Swatsworth has the advantage on the outside of car 38. He's got help from Zach Meredith behind him. Both of these cars steady at the front of the run. 2 by 2, I was going to say about 15 rows deep, but then you saw those 3 cars jump to the outside. A bit of discord on that outside line now, and the inside will have the momentum. Does the 1 of Swatsworth jump in front of his IROC teammate Boone? The answer is no. Zach Meredith stays steady behind car number 1. The status quo does not change at the front of the race. Looking to the other half of the Swatsworth clan, talking about Kurt in that green 18. He sits behind the 33 of Stan Carnathan. Kurt has been trying to make his way up through this field inch by inch, and he's now found a draft partner in the 33 of Carnathan and the 27 of Sam Wade. You can see just the massive gap that drivers have back here, just no coordination. Terry Radford in the 3 car. We know he can turn faster laps than this. He's got the 37 of Jeff Lednam behind him, and ahead, the 33 of Stan Carnathan. Josh Arnold in the Auburn car, running in the middle. He sits in that 22 car, trying to find a line on the outside at the front. It's Matt Boone in the 38 behind him. He's got the 71 car. Mike Campbell paying homage to the Dukes of Hazzards on his outside. Oh, there's cars going around there. Wreck out of 3. The 71 goes almost upside down into the air. The 22's involved. The 19 of Millsap's involved. There's the big one right there. At least 15 some cars involved in that one. Right before the halfway mark, caution number 5 flies at Talladega. Let's try and make some sense of this, because a lot of guys really just got together there. Timmy Hart says this looks almost like it's real. And Tim, that's the beauty of iRacing, is just how gorgeous this game genuinely looks. Shad Swatsworth being scored as the leader, Matt Boone in second, and Josh Franks, a.k.a. Expert Racing, sitting in third. Let's have a look. There's contact from the 45 to the 22. There you see the 71 just getting dumped in a span of 5 seconds or less, and the 72 with nowhere to go. That just kind of exploded everywhere. Let's look on with right along with the 22 of Josh Arnold. With Jake Millsap. With Pete Ruzich, I think. I tell you, what a way to drive through that wreck. That was, one more time, let's just look. That was cool. Let's get a little bit sooner here. Check this out. What a move by Pete. What a way to get through. Vols fan says, woo. Cindy Thompson says, great run, Josh. Number 22, Bama Trama, with the head and hands emoji. Not like this. Tree Wade puts a what face in the chat. But how about Pete Ruzich driving through that crash? That right there earns the Cole Trickle move of the race.
Ice cream!
Past the halfway mark now, Pete being scored into the 8th position. More than a cape in the chat says, good job, Pete. Cheering on our buddy Pete. So the big one strikes just before the halfway mark, and caution number 5 flies at Talladega. Shad Swatsworth is scored as the leader. Fans at home, we are going to take a 60-second break, and we'll be back with the back 9, the second half of di9 Design's Xfinity cars from virtual Talladega. Repeat 1975 in the chat says, that was fun. He had a good run there. We're getting ready to go green to start the second half of racing. Cole Snyder sitting in second. Josh Franks is in third. Shad Swatsworth at the front of the show, getting ready to restart this race. Let's see how these cars take the second half. Getting ready for the signal, waiting for the green flag to fly to send Shad Swatsworth barreling into turn number 1. There's the signal. Green flag is out at Dega. Great lead by Swatsworth out of turn number 2. Cole Snyder right behind him. Look at these guys, 3 wide out of turn number 2. Rod Ayers in that 21, drafting with the 27 of Sam Wade behind them. Stan Carnathan in that 33, rocking the outside line as the 17 of Zach Meredith jumps to the high line to the outside of Nate Lehman. Terry Radford in the 3 car, sitting on that inside, trying to get a draft off of the 66 of Jim Coey. At the front, Josh Franks leads this race. He's got on his outside the 24 of Cole Snyder. More Than a Cape asks, single file restarts. Well, it's been a bit of a caution fest, Cape, so we're going to go ahead and keep the riffraff to a minimum. At the front, Snyder still leading Millsap, this time on the high side. And look at the advantage that they're getting. Josh Franks leads the line on the bottom side of the racetrack, but there goes some disorganization. The 38 of Boone jumping to the middle, can't find a drafting partner. He'll come back to the inside where Shad Swatsworth sits in that purple number 1 Crown Royal Chevrolet. On the top side, Pete Ruzich in the 8. Well, I say the 8, he's being scored as the 8. Really, it's that blank white Sheriff's car. Then behind him, Hunter Peach in the number 26 Ream Camry. Jordan Bain sitting in 3rd. He's up 18 places from where he started. That puts points leader Bain as the biggest mover of today's race. Fanning rounding out 3 and 4 wide down the back straight. Bain trying to find a draft partner, but it's a bit difficult, and it could be a bit early. 35 laps to go this time by. Bain now has Jeff Lednam behind him in that 37 car. Further on back, Dave Cuvier in that 45 who got involved in an accident early on. Cuvier sits behind the 33 of Stan Carnathan. On his outside, the 97 of TJ Handley. He's rocking the top line, trying to draft around the 18 of Kurt Swatsworth. He looks a bit banged up into that lime green Crown Royal IROC car. Hopefully, they get back up through to this field. In the next pack, Josh Arnold and the 77 of Matt Cochran trying to draft with the 71 of Mike Campbell. Sam Wade has Rod Ayers behind him, trying to push him to the front of this one. They're sitting 13th and 14th respectively. Rounding out the top 10 is Mike Allen in the 5 car. He's drafting behind the number 1. That is Shad Swatsworth. He's up 17 places from where this race started. 34 laps to go this time by. Cole Snyder still leads Jake Millsap across the line. Quinones third in line, and Mike Kinsley now leaving pit road in that number 12 black Crown Royal car. Good to see the fighting spirit still surviving in that camp. On board now with the 24 of Cole Snyder. Terribly unsettled. TJ Handley just went purple. That was the 24 of Snyder who looked unsettled. One driver who is on it is Handley in the number 97. He just turned a 49.97, the fastest lap of the race on lap 47. Kudos to TJ Handley. He's gone purple so far, but will he maintain that fastest lap? On the outside of Cole Snyder, it's Joshua Franks, aka Expert Racing. Look at the one of Shad Swatsworth jumping to the high side ahead of Hunter Peach. 3 wide for the lead down the tri-oval. Snyder still leading, but this time he's got tough competition from Franks. Here comes Josh Arnold, rocking the colors of Auburn University on the outside. The 77 One Mind Design Supra of Matt Cochran right behind him. And then you've got the purple number 1 Crown Royal Chevy, Shad Swatsworth, sitting in the 10th position. These drivers so tightly packed together. The Box Cave Chevrolet still leads. Jake Millsap sitting in second with another Box Cave car behind him. Enrique Quinones sitting third in line. Rock NASCAR 388 says, do it for Dale, let's go racing. Look at the 22 of Arnold jumping to the outside. It looks like J-Paw has lost his draft partners. The 6 of Franks loses his top spot on the outside line. That now goes to Pete Ruzich in that white car. Behind him, Josh Roberts in the 15. Behind Roberts, it looks like Franks is trying to stay. No, he gets out of that vacuum hole. Jumps down to the inside line. Cole Snyder still leads, and now welcome Nate Lehman into the fold. Lehman running 18th, now has a draft from the 27 of Sam Wade. And it looks like these drivers are finally starting to get bunched back together. The draft prevails at Talladega, but they've got to be steady, and there's a wreck up ahead. Cars almost going in the air, one on 2 wheels. That was the 77 of Cochran. Josh Franks makes it through unharmed. Caution number 6 is out at Talladega with 30 laps remaining. Ben Genie says, my God. Quite the accident there. And a first-time chat. Thank you, Ben, for that first-time chat. Glad to have you here, my friend. Welcome to Rick James TV. Let's go back and see what happened between these drivers to bring out caution number 6. Oh, and they're already wrecking there. Terrible angle there. Let's see if we can get a closer view. So Pete Ruzich in the 8. My good buddy Pete just got a piece of that one. Here he is in the vacuum hole. And let's see what happens. Oh, the 77 and the 22 just got together. You saw the 22 just dipped. The 77 got a piece to that. And unfortunately, that's the way she goes. Sometimes she goes and sometimes she doesn't. And for Pete, that time, she just didn't go. So Cole Snyder still at the front of this field. Everybody's going to come down pit road for tires, for fuel, for everything else that they can imagine. We're going to take another break. We'll be back in 60 seconds with the final 27 laps of di9 Designs from virtual Talladega. There are the points brought to you by di9 Designs. As you see the second round of pit stops coming through. Jordan Bain being scored as your points leader. There's the number 28 B-Water Ford. Looks like he used one of those fast repairs. He got his car looking good and in fighting shape. Bain leading by 26 points over Josh Arnold. Arnold running in the 17th position after getting involved in that accident. Looks like Arnold used one of his fast repairs. And 16 points behind Josh Arnold is Matt Boone in the 38. Boone being scored 4th right now. Looks like Matt's going to line up to the outside of Jake Millsap in car number 19. Got to give a great shout out to the folks at di9 Designs sponsoring tonight's race. di9 Designs is, of course, the Chase Elliott custom graphic design page on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at di9 Designs. They post graphics on all platforms multiple times a week on top of taking requests on all types of logos, Chase Elliott wallpapers, iRacing schemes, and more. Follow and DM them for more details. They're not affiliated with Hendrick Motorsports or Chase Elliott. Be sure to use code di9 Designs for free shipping on all your diecast and merch orders over $20 on CircleBDiecast.com. Cole Snyder lining up on the outside of Enrique Quiñones. Looks like it'll be another single file restart. Cole Snyder, the control car. Quickly approaching 27 laps to go at the Talladega Superspeedway. One more time, a quick flash of the points coming into tonight's race. Cole Snyder sits 10th in the standings. He's only 10 points behind Nate Lehman, and he is tied for 10th with Josh Franks. And he only sits 13 points ahead of Jeff Lednam in 12th. Cole Snyder says he's going for the win, but can he make that stick? Timmy Hart says, let's go. Mike Campbell cheering for that 71 car involved in that last accident. Mike Campbell being scored 25th on the lead lap, waiting for the signal for Cole Snyder. 27 laps to go. Green flag is out at Talladega. Snyder in that 24, sitting ahead of Quiñones, and look at the little three-way friendship line they've got. 24, 9, 19 Chevrolets all the way down until you get down to points leader Jordan Bain in 5th. How long can they keep this up? Here's Boone. He's ahead of Jordan Bain in that 28, and TJ Handley, who still has the fastest lap of the race with a 49.97. Handley now trying to draft behind that 28 of Bain, get up to the leaders. More Than a Cape says the 24 is backwards on top of that car. And actually, interesting fact here. And actually, that sounded really condescending. I apologize. But the reason the numbers are orientated towards the infield is because back in the day, before we had electronic timing and scoring, they obviously did the scoring by hand on paper. And to be able to see and identify the cars better, they would have the number on the roof lined up towards the infield. So the people that were doing the timing and scoring could see the number, better identify the car, and do their scoring more accurately. You might see on some short tracks, or tonight on Cole Snyder, for instance, the number orientated towards the crowd. And it's something that we just haven't changed. It's something that we've done just because. I don't know. You know, you think about it, and you think why, but, you know, one of those things that maybe we'll come up with, maybe we won't. Matt Boone's going to come up with a lead here if someone doesn't stop him. Enrique Quiñones nearly goes under that yellow line there in that 88. Mamatrama in the chat says, woohoo, let's go Vols fan 88, talking about Terry Radford. She sees her boy in that number 3 car make his way up to 12th. He's in the top 15 for the first time today, drafting behind Josh Franks in the 6. On the inside line is the 18 of Kurt Swatsworth in the Crown Royal Chevrolet Camaro. Can't forget about Jose Ruiz in the number 23 All-Pro Chevrolet. He sits ahead of J-Paw in that 22 car. Stan Carnathan and Nate Lehman trying to be a part of that party as well. 24 laps remain at Talladega, and car 24, Cole Snyder, trying to hold on to this lead on the outside. The 2-car tandem of Matt Boone in the 38, Jordan Bain in the 28. Rock NASCAR 388 says, let's go Vols, cheering for Vols fan 88. Laps to go, and car 23, Jose Ruiz, sits on the outside. That is Stan Carnathan. That's Jose Ruiz now behind the 18 of Kurt Swatsworth. And the 22 of J-Paw now pushing this train along. There are the di9 points coming into tonight's race. According to the standings, Jose Ruiz sits 6th right now behind Hunter Peach. He's only 4 points behind Hunter Peach and 3 points ahead of Enrique Quiñones in the 9 car. Right now they're trying to make that outside line move. They don't have a lot of time remaining. They've got to get going. It'll be double deuce at the line. Cole Snyder still leads, opening the door for Quiñones behind him, and that is the most dangerous position because if Quiñones finds daylight, he'll take it, and if the 24 tries to block, it could be the end of his race. Four Chevrolets in the top 4, and then you've got Jordan Bain in the 28 bringing his blue oval into the mix. A new paint scheme for the B Water 4. And there's the cavalry. And look who's leading it. The number 3 of Terry Radford being pushed by Pete Ruzich, and I mean this 100%. These two right here are two of the best broadcasters I've heard in the on iRacing in the last year and a half, 2 years. Unbelievably good stuff. And look at the 2-car tandem. More Than a Cape says, let's go Boone. Cheering on for the 38 of Matt Boone, who's on the outside, getting pushed by Jordan Bain. It'll be 2-0 to go. Next time by, Boone comes down on Cole Snyder, tries to squeeze him in, and surprise, surprise, fastest laps of their races, Terry Radford and Pete Ruzich just ran an identical 50-26, and look at them now, making it a 10-car party at the front of this race. More Than a Cape in the chat says, gonna be a caution. We're gonna see. It's 2-0 to go, and it'll be 1-9 at the line. Mama Vols in the chat says, Terry, cheering on her boy Radford. But look at the 45. It's Couve trying to make his way up through the field on the inside of Terry Radford. That 45's been involved in some action before, and the 15 of Josh Roberts back down to 12th. Terry Radford trying to make his way through, but here comes the cavalry. Josh Franks leading the rest of those hungry drivers, and it's almost a 20-car party at the front of this race. Rock NASCAR 388 says, getting intense now, folks. Rocky, you better believe it. At the front, Cole Snyder and Matt Boone have not given up their deadlock, still neck and neck. It was 1-9 at the line, and it will be a wonderful 18 next time they cross the line. Car 18, Kurt Swatsworth, has done so much to make his way up through this field. He's running 19th right now behind the 23 of Jose Ruiz, and he's slow off of turn number 4 with the 72 of Braden Holt overtaking him on the outside. Zach Meredith goes with him. Here comes Hunter Peach and the 27 of Sam Wade, and it goes just a bit pear-shaped for Kurt Swats now. If it's any consolation, Kurt, your car still looks fantastic. The Clearfield native now has a draft, though. Never say never. Kurt's still up 9 places from where he started this race, and it's only round 7. Still so much racing left. Kurt Swatsworth comes into this race 16th in points. 17 laps to go. Bama Trama putting some flames in the chat. She's getting excited. She's feeling the heat from this racing. I'm still just baffled by the fact that for the most part, the 38 of Matt Boone and the 28 of Jordan Bain have just hung on the outside by themselves with little to no help, still in contention. Just like they're side drafting their way on the outside with smaller numbers, but now they've got help. And look at the tightly packed train behind him. Welcome the number 5 of Mike Allen, and behind Allen, it's the 15 of Josh Roberts. Josh Arnold joins the party on the outside with Josh Franks behind him, and then the 33 of Stan Carnathan. It's Sweet 16 laps remaining. Cole Snyder leading in that 24 car, and I think Cole's a good contender for most laps led today. Another one ticks off the board, and on the outside, the 38 of Matt Boone getting his advantage, getting cars packed behind him, but who will have the advantage now? It's 2 by 2, 4 rows deep. Lap traffic up front. How will they behave in the face of oncoming leaders? 15 laps to go. Contact at the front. Leaders make contact, just minimal contact there between Cole Snyder and the 38 of Matt Boone. Everybody mostly unharmed. Have a look one more time at this contact. Oh, and we just missed it there. Back to live pictures now. Lap cars peeling off. That's Mike Kinsley on the high side, staying well out of the way. One car just came on right in the middle of traffic. Big wreck behind them. What in the world was this? The 21 car of Rod Ayers, a casualty in this. What just happened? Right as the cars came into turn number 1, there was a black and red car, it looked like, on the apron. Oh, was that Randy Bousquet in the 29? It was Randy Bousquet. More Than a Cape said, told you. He said a caution was going to come, and of course, I mean, you called it, but we all felt it. Let's have another look. This is Randy Bousquet coming up the inside. Panic 24. Putting in some dumbfounded emojis. Randy comes on right onto the 45, the 8 of Ruzic. The 14 of Lehman got a piece. Derek Cook says, oh boy. You know it, DC. One more ride with Randy in car 29. So that's Mike Kinsley on the outside. Kinsley is a lap car, and Kinsley's literally going to take the high road, and Bousquet is going to take the low road here. Have a listen. Randy's trajectory was just way too low into turn number 1. Have another look. As he enters turn 1, you can see that you can hear and you can see on the tack. Randy's going to let off the gas. He's going to lower his speed, but obviously he doesn't want to go too slow. But look at the angle he's taking into 1. This is just going to set him up. Right there. I think by the time he realizes it, there's just nothing he can do. And unfortunately, that's going to bring out the most recent caution of today's race. So we're going to restart inside the final 12 laps of action. Cole Snyder leads Enrique Quinones. Timmy Hart, 21, says, let's line them up and do it again. Lucky number 13, laps to go from the Talladega Superspeedway. Cole Snyder leads in the number 24 Box Cave Chevrolet. Lights are still on atop the pace car, so we're going to take another 60-second break, and we'll be back with the restart. 11 laps remain in this 7th round of di9 Designs Xfinity cars. Don't go anywhere. Back in 60. Back at the Talladega Superspeedway, Randy Bousquet apologizing in the chat saying, sorry, I forgot about the grass coming up. Worst things have happened, Rand. No worries. Looking at second place right now, Enrique Quiñones in the number 9 Box Cave Chevrolet has a chance to win this race, but he's going to need some help. Let's talk to Enrique. Enrique, Rick James, you got me?
Yes, sir.
You're sitting in second right now behind Cole Snyder, leading this race. Coming into tonight's race, you're looking for that first win, but the point standings say otherwise. You're sitting 7th right now, 3 points behind Jose Ruiz. You're only, it looks like, 9 points ahead of Brad Rivers, who's not in tonight's race. Are you thinking more about keeping the points or more about getting tonight's win?
Definitely want a good finish, but also want that win too, man. I haven't made up my mind yet, so we'll see how this plays out. I'm having fun running with the Cold Dog Racing guys, with Cole Snyder, Jake Millsap, and we're hoping Josh Arnold get up here.
Who's going to be your best drafting partner on the way to the front?
Well, I would say usually my man right here in front of me, but that doesn't gonna help me. I'm gonna hope Millsap or Arnold get up to me, and maybe I can pass my teammate up here.
Only one way to find out, Enrique. But that brings us to the most important question of the evening. Q-Dog, what is your favorite kind of chip?
Yep. I'll go with Doritos Nacho Cheese.
The classic, dude. You got to go with the red bag, always. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
And I'm going to sound like the oldest human being in the world, but do you remember when we were kids and we only had the red or the blue Doritos and nothing else?
Full bag.
That, you know, back in the day, man, we struggled. No, all right, anyway,
Yes,
just keep the shiny side up, man. We're cheering for you.
I appreciate it.
Here I am screwing around, trying to make jokes about Doritos, and Enrique Quiñones has a race he's going to try to win. The New Jersey native lines up behind Cole Snyder. Matt Boone sitting in the 3rd position in the number 38 Crown Royal Chevrolet. Jake Millsap behind him as the Ford Mustang pace car peels off. 11 laps to go when we restart this race. Mike Allen trying to get a good run on Millsap. He's starting in the 5th position in car number 5. Waiting for these cars to slowly trickle their way towards the start-finish line. And for those that don't know about Talladega and say it looks a lot like Daytona, where you would expect that start-finish line down the middle, a bit further down the racetrack. 24 car takes off. Green flag is out. 11 laps to go. More Than a Cape says, Rick James, how many cautions tonight? No idea, Cape. I think we've had about 7 or 8. Duct Tape Fan 06 says, let's go, Jake. This is your race. Cheering for the number 19 Cold Dog Chevrolet of Jake Millsap. There he is drafting behind Matt Boone. Enrique Quiñones still in second. 1-0 to go at the line. 2-4, 9, 3, 8. Your top 3. Quiñones said he wants Josh Arnold to get up there, the Mississippi native in the Auburn colors, bringing that Ford up to the top 6, and he's 1 spot away from cracking that top 5. On the outside now, Josh Roberts in that number 15 car. He's got the Canadian Dave Cuvier behind him, and Race W Racing now following. Welcome to Rick James TV, and you couldn't have joined us at a better time. 1-0 to go, and now it's 9 at the line. Cole Snyder leads this race on his outside as they're 3 wide for 4th behind him. It is the 38 of Matt Boone. Enrique Quiñones sits in 2nd in the 9 car. Partners trying to help each other to the front. On the outside, points leader Jordan Bain in the 28 car. He's up 19 places, as is Josh Roberts in the number 15 car. Duct Tape Dad says, let's go, Jake. First time chat from there, Shad Swatsworth, purple. And that's not just the car color, he's gone purple for the race. Fastest lap of the race with 9 at the line. 49.94 seconds, quickest in the race. And look at this mess into 3. And they're wrecking. It's the leader. Cole Snyder's gone around. The leader's going around. He saves it. No way. No way. And there's a wreck up ahead. More Than a Cape says, let's go, Boone. Suave 555 saying, just paying my respects to PSES future announcer. Suave, love you, buddy. Caution number 8 out on the racetrack. I'm still grinning ear to ear because I can't believe Cole Snyder saved that car from wrecking, and it's a shame that they couldn't all hold it behind them. But it's going to be a great restart here inside the final 5 laps of action. Let's go back and see what happened with the 24. That's unbelievable stuff. That's the second time tonight. And let's go back a bit further here. Oh, he's already lost it by this point. You know, do you remember earlier when I said that the 9 of Quinones was going to find daylight inside the 24 and this was going to happen? That's exactly what just happened. Quinones found daylight. And look at this, the 17, and that looked like the 45 of Cuvier. Really getting into it there. One more look. This is coming out of turn number 2. And you know what? Let's ride along with Enrique Quinones. Still can't believe they did not wreck, and here's a subsequent crash. Let's see what happened with the 17 there, because they really did not last long after turn number 4. Let's move it up a bit. So there's Meredith on the outside line. He's going to make contact with the 45 of Cuvier. Oh, man, and they were just going for the same piece of real estate. More Than a Cape says, Q-Dog pushing too hard. You know, and you would, I would say in a normal circumstance, yes. In this circumstance with 7 to go, there was an instance earlier where Quinones was pushing Snyder exactly the same way, and Snyder was running the exact same line, doing everything he needed to do, leaving just a little bit of daylight. Not enough for the 9 car to get to the inside, but enough just to tease the 9 car with the inside line. And there you see Quinones coming down pit road. He's getting tires and fuel here inside the final 7 laps of action. More Than a Cape says, can't do that when you aren't lined up. Suave 555 says, a little drift up. This time around with 7 to go, Quinones was a bit less patient. And look who's in the lead. Car 28, Jordan Bain, leading this race with 6 laps to go. And as if the points leader needed any other reason to extend his lead, let's bother him a bit. Jordan Bain, do you ever stop winning?
I'm not going to win this race, I'll tell you right now.
That's what you said last time, dude.
No, single file as the leader. I'm not in a good spot here. But hey, we'll do what we can. I don't want to throw any bad blocks and wreck the field. So, yeah, we'll see.
You've got new colors on the B Water Ford, and it's a breath of fresh air seeing some nice bright blue on that car, man. It could be a nice trip to victory lane for you. Who's going to be your strongest draft partner if you can have one with 4 laps to go?
Well, I pushed Boone to win at Daytona, so hopefully, you know, Boone will if I stay on the bottom and they try to get run on the outside, Boone will stay with me. But I don't know. I don't blame anyone for trying to blow by me here. Like I said, I don't think I'm gonna have too many people feeling bad if I don't win this, nor should they. So we'll do the best we can to keep it straight, not wad up the field, and hopefully we'll get a good top 5 out of this. And if we win, that would be quite shocking.
You have a 42-point gap to Matt Boone and 4 wins this season. You're getting no help on this restart.
No, yeah, none. No, yeah, see you later. You know, the only help I'll get is if I stay on the bottom. Some guys are going to want to stay on the bottom just because it's the bottom. You know, everyone's going to do what they can to try and win the race for themselves. And I think not everybody's going to leave me if I stay on the bottom. So I think that's where I got to stay.
It's been a good show thus far. I mean, a lot of cautions, but you know me, I absolutely love plate tracks, and this has been just an absolute treat, man. So that brings me to the most important question, Bain. What's your favorite kind of chip?
You know what? I love the Pringles Ranch, man. Those things are addicting. Rarely can I open one and not eat them all. So, yeah, we'll go with that.
Well,
Ranch
you know what they
Pringles.
say, man. Once you pop, the fun don't
That's
stop.
right.
Right? So
That's right.
Exactly, buddy. Keep the shiny side up. I'm going to send you back to Pete. Say hi to him, and I know you're going to give us a show, buddy. Best of luck.
You got it. I'll do what I can here. Thanks.
Jordan Bain rocking the number 28 B Water Ford, leading the points coming into tonight's race. Suave 555 saying, don't take a jump on the restart, Bain. Everybody giving him advice. Coming to 4 laps to go. Who's going to get the advantage? Who's going to get the whole shot? Who's going to get the best chance to win this race? This is going to be something else. This is really going to be something absolutely special. I absolutely love plate tracks, and with a half lap to go, you can already hear the excitement. This is going to be so much fun. Immediately after this race, we're going to have podium interviews, so stay tuned for that. Everybody who's tuned in tonight, thank you so very much. Fans at home, this just isn't possible without you, each of you viewing. Drivers who take part in all of this, and everybody who puts this together, everybody viewing. It's not possible to continue doing this without your continued support. So thank you so much. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for tuning in, for commenting, for interacting. And let's have some fun. Let's enjoy these last 4 laps or more. Who knows if we're going to survive 4 laps all the way to the end. Suave 555 says no way. He says the winner's going to be between 5th and 8th right now. Let's take a look. Jake Millsap sitting 5th right now in the number 19 Coal Dog Chevrolet. Braden Holt running 6th in a brand new shiny Valvoline Chevy. Looks like he just used a fast repair. Chad Swatsworth sitting in 7th in the Crown Royal Chevy. Mike Allen behind him in the HD number 5 Chevrolet. More Than a Cape says, hold the clutch in and press the gas down for half a lap. Jordan Bain leads the field to 4 laps to go. Green flag is out. We're racing again at Talladega. Roberts, the first to jump out of line in that 15, but he has no help, and he will be left out to dry like a summer towel that's been forgotten after the pool party that nobody claims at the Lost and Found and stays there for months on end until it's thrown in the trash, but he still survives by, no he doesn't, never mind. The one car of Chad Swatsworth wastes no time with the 15, but he also has no help. 3 circuits remain. Bain, Peach, Millsap on the inside line, Boone on the outside in car 38. Jordan Bain said nobody would push him to the win. We'll see if he survives another 3 circuits. Suave 555 says, oh, single file restarts. I'll tell you what, Suave, it's been single file restarts for quite a while, but you can't blame it because it has kept the racing caution, well, at least not a wreck fest here. And look at the guys going 2 and 3 wide into 3. Bain leading Peach. Cape says old school. I love a little bit of the flair here, and they're wrecking behind him already. There goes the 97 into the wall. The one of Swatsworth is involved. The 3 of Radford goes flipping like a carnival ride out of turn number 4. Caution number 9 flies as Kurt Swatsworth gets a piece of the 97 of TJ Handley, who has the 2nd fastest lap in tonight's race, and it all amounts to nothing for Handley. Bama Trama in the chat with the what face. More Than a Cape says he did. Caution number 9 comes out, and that means it's a green-white checkered finish. Let's find out what happened. There's contact. The 33 of Stan Carnathan got a piece of that. Watch this. Oh, no, we are well ahead of all of this. There's Carnathan in the 33 just smoking ahead. Let's have another look. Oh, the 97 of Hanley getting into the 1 getting into the 33, and it all just unfolds from there. There you see Terry Radford going for a wild ride. Balls Fan 88 says, you think you'd hold it in the wall. There he is driving away the number 3 Martin Sports Chevrolet. One look at Terry Radford as he does pirouettes through the Talladega sky. The 23 of Jose Ruiz not helping. Continues to spin in that Martin Sports Rowdy Energy Chevrolet. And now for the fun angle. Here's the onboard. And that's all she wrote for Terry Radford. There's the 97 of TJ Handley. Jordan Bain leading this race ahead of Hunter Peach, and now we've got a green-white checkered. How do you like that? This is going to be something else. Brock NASCAR 388 in the chat says, ouch. Timmy Hart 21 says, come on, 71, cheering for Mike Campbell. Campbell right now being scored 9th. Ahead of Rodney Ayers in the 21 Bama Trama with the not like this emoji. Wasn't a fan of that one. So drivers will have a chance to get their cars repaired. More Than a Cape says there will be 2 green-white checkered. Cape predicting a crash on the first attempt, and we'll have to go to a second one. Hunter Peach sitting in the second position right now, and I don't know if Hunter is expecting a green-white checkered or not. Ben Genie says, get done, 27. Cheering on for Sam Wade running in the 7th position, rocking the Tennessee Volunteers colors. Swab 555 says, now I'm calling it, Boone is gonna win. And if you look at the 38 of Matt Boone, he did pick up the other restrictor plate win this season. The Wisconsin pilot winning the season opener at Daytona. Coming into this race, he sits 42 points behind race leader and points leader Jordan Bain. More Than a Cape says, I'm not saying that there are things in here nuttier than squirrel turds, but you know, no idea what he means by that. And Vols fan says, has fun, came out to enjoy some good racing, fast Martin Sports Chevy, she def was rowdy, thanks to KB for letting me run the rowdy logo. Lots of love from Vols fan 88, love from Bama Trama, and it was a valiant race. You know what, I just realized you can't even see those chats. Let's open that up wide here. More Than a Cape says, it's Dega. Yeah, what can you expect, man, it's Dega. Lights are out atop the pace car, and this is going to get crazy. More Than a Cape just says that. He says it's going to get crazy. 2 laps to go. D-Trade says, holy crap, I didn't know I was sponsoring a car tonight. What car were you sponsoring, D-Trade? Let me know. But 2 laps to go, and this is going to be one for the ages. This is going to be one of those instant classics you see on the sports channels. Just watch this. D-Trade said 77. Talking about Matt Cochran. He was talking about the One Mind Design Toyota Supra. VolsFan88 says, looking forward to next week. It'll be my last start. That'll be fun there. One Mind to Design, that number 77 Supra, apparently being sponsored by D-Trade in the chat. Next week will be the last start for VolsFan88. It'll also be the last doubleheader Tuesday for this season. Next Tuesday night is the final of the OG Racing League Modifieds, sponsored by theracingschool.net. That'll be next Tuesday night, 8:10 p.m. Eastern, and the championship fight will go down to that final round. Jordan Bain on the inside line, Hunter Peach on the outside line, going double file for the green-white checkered. And if your friends aren't in here yet, they need to be. Get them in here. Everybody get in here. This is going to be one of the best green-white checkers we've ever seen. Hunter Peach on the outside line in the number 26 Rheem Camry. No wins this season. 5th in points. Jordan Bain leading the points by 26 markers over Josh Arnold with 4 wins this season, going for a 5th victory in 7 starts. Atreyu talking to D-Trade there, waiting for the green flag. It's out. Green-white checkered at Talladega. Great jump by Jordan Bain. Let's go racing. Three wide for second, low, middle, high, 19:38.26. Jordan Bain gets a great jump, but now here comes the competition. The 19 of Millsap filling the rearview mirror of the 28. Matthew Boone on the outside, but he's got no help. The 19 of Millsap pushing the 28. That's his only chance to win this one now. Coming into 3, 2 by 2 into the third corner. Jordan Bain leading single file, 6 cars deep. The 26 of Peach looking for a move on the outside. Millsap still filling in the hole in the 19. Millsap to the outside now, coming to that white flag. Jake Millsap trying to get to the outside of points leader Jordan Bain. White flag in the air. 3 wide for the second position behind him. That's the 72 of Braden Holt, who was involved in one of the first cautions. Now fighting for that lead on the inside. Sam Wade in the 27 pushing that 72 to the front. Millsap on the high side. Jordan Bain with help from Boone behind him. Here comes the 71 of Mike Campbell in that orange Ford. 28 car leading this race. 38 behind him. There's the 27 and the 72 combo on the high side. Half a lap remains. Checkered flag in the air. It's a race no matter what this time by. Millsap on the high side. No help. He's done. 28 of Jordan Bain on the inside line. He's leading the charge. 38 comes behind him. The 71 of Mike Campbell trying to go to the high side, but he can't move. The 72 of Braden Holt is there. Wrecked behind him. Frank's involved. The 38 of Matt Boone. One more chance to the outside. Cars drafting behind him. There's a crash. Drag race to the line. 38 to the outside, and it's Matt Boone who beats Jordan Bain to the line by 1/100th of a second at Talladega. What an unbelievable finish. What a race. Unbelievable stuff. Snaggles in the chat says, hell of a finish. I gotta catch my breath. Wow. Wow, wow. Suave555 says he called it. We got to contact DraftKings and start taking bets on this stuff, because that is some unbelievable stuff. The 38 of Matt Boone coming in clutch with his second victory of the season. 2 for 2 on road courses. Wow. We're going to check that finish out in a minute. Matt's probably going to burn the house down to absolute smithereens. Are you kidding me right now? What a finish. The 14 of Nate Lehman comes to offer some friendly congratulations to the 38 of Boone. D-Trade says, good job, Boone. Vols fan says, what a freaking race. And the 38 of Matt Boone, well-deserved skid down the front straight. He's going to burn this one down for all the fans. Just what a finish. Unbelievable stuff by Matt Boone. Fans at home, don't go anywhere. We're going to have top 3 interviews in just a moment. Repeat 1975 adding his 2 cents. He says, congrats, Boone. What a finish. What an unbelievable end to this race as Matt Boone burns the house down in well-deserved celebration. Let's take a look at that checkered flag. Matt Boone in second in that 38 car. He's got Campbell behind him in the 71. Bain leading this race. There's the wreck behind him. Wow. Just wow. One more look from Matt Boone's onboard. Timed it absolutely perfectly, and Matt Boone wins the race by 1/100th of a second. Just fantastic. Fans, don't go anywhere. We're going to have top 3 interviews in just a moment. On the podium now with our third place finisher, driver of the number 71 Orange Dukes of Hazzard Ford, Mike Campbell, aka Papa Bear. Pop, what a race for you. First top 3 this season. Did you think you had a shot at a podium?
At the beginning I did, but then all the issues I had through the race, and then when that last caution came out, I restarted ninth, so I figured if I stayed on that bottom, I would, and other cars would move up, I would have a chance, which that happened. So, and then when I hooked up with Boone and Bain, I stayed right on their bumpers till the last of it.
And here you are sitting third on the podium right now, and a fantastic race. Next week, I believe, is Watkins Glen. Pop, what do you got for that?
Hopefully we have a lot of fun. I mean, this last lap here, that was a blast. We were all laughing, and it was, hopefully it carries over to the next one.
Beautiful stuff, Pop. Congratulations on that third. We'll see you in a week's time.
Thank you, sir.
Our second place finisher, points leader Jordan Bain, who said nobody was going to push him to the line. And he was right, because Matt Boone got around him at the very end. But what a finish, Bain. You still have the points lead, but now your lead shrinks to 38 digits over Matt Boone headed next week into Watkins Glen. Whatever are you going to do with a 38-point lead and 4 wins headed into round 8?
Hopefully same thing we do every week. Just have fun with it. Try to keep it clean for the most part. It was a really fun race, and congrats again to Boone. He's the Superspeedway ringer this year. So that's 2 wins for him. But yeah, it kind of played out the way I thought it would. When you had talked to me, it's really hard being the leader here, coming out of 4 especially. It's kind of like you can either throw a bad block and wad up the field, or drag race a guy and hope he doesn't time it right. But Boone definitely did time it right, got the side draft on me. And then Papa got the second side draft on me on the bottom, and he got me by, I think, like 17 hundredths of a second, but 14 hundredths of a second. So fun finish. Congrats to him. Thanks for broadcasting. Had a blast.
I also had a blast, man. Thanks for the entertainment, buddy. We'll see you in a week.
Yes, sir.
Our race-winning interview brought to you by the good people at di9 Designs, the Chase Elliott custom graphic design page on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at di9 Designs. They post graphics on all platforms multiple times a week on top of taking requests on all types of logos, Chase Elliott wallpapers, iRacing schemes, and more. Follow and DM them for more details. They are not affiliated with Hendrick Motorsports or Chase Elliott. Be sure to use code DI9 Designs for free shipping on all your diecast and merch orders over $20 on CircleBDiecast.com. And now the winner. Driver of the number 38 Crown Royal Chevrolet with his second win this season. Boone, you're 2 for 2 on plate tracks, and this time you win it in style.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
You've got to be just geeked with that one. Did you know that was what you were going to do at the end of the race?
Absolutely not. I didn't think I was even going to finish in the top 5 at the end of the race there. It just opened up where I got behind Bain, and I was going to push him to the end, but a hole opened up on the outside, and I said, well, what do I got to lose? We're going through the tri-oval. I might as well go for it. The time is now, and it worked out.
Your second win this season. Next week at the Glen, you go for a hat trick, 38 points behind points leader Jordan Bain. What will round 8 hold for you?
I'm hoping a victory or top 5. I'm pretty good at the Glen. It's a lot of fun, and hopefully to put on another show for you.
You got some celebrating to do, buddy. We'll see you in a week. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
My esteemed thanks to Mike Campbell Jr., Jordan Bain, Matt Boone, the lovely Pete Ruzich, Cole Snyder, anybody else that I talked to, Enrique Quinones as well. Of course, most importantly, you, the fans. We cannot do these shows without you, and it's because of your viewership that we get to do this week in and week out. Thank you so much for tuning in. Rick James TV Racing will be back Thursday night with the My Cricket Makes trucks. Tune in for that. But until then, everybody, please stay safe. Do take care.